just want the men to know, okay, if you're hard to look at, okay, you can play hard to get.
All right, first of all, back your ass up from the camera, okay? Like, these close-up angles y'all be doing, that should be doing y'all dirty, okay? That's number one. Number two, messenger, okay? I don't think you're the one to be delivering this message, all right? Just being honest with you, okay? And third of all, it's always the force, ain't it? It's always the force.
Ex starts dating someone 11 years younger because they can't get anyone their own age because they won't put up with that shit.
First of all, crazy. You can see it all over the eyes. Oh my goodness. Second of all, again with this close-up angle, back your ass. I can taste your breath, lady. Back up. Damn. And third of all, this is, I mean, I'm not going to call the lady herself pathetic, but this right here is pathetic, what she's doing. You hopped on TikTok, you went online, and you started talking about your ex's new bae. I mean, that's just, I mean, I'm sure they're happy and having a good old time. And if he's 11 years younger than her by the looks of you, what? She couldn't be any younger than what? 27? Like we talking about adults here, lady. You need to move your ass on. Okay, let's just keep it all the way 100. You need to move on and brush your teeth and back up from the camera when you're filming. Damn it. Let's keep going.
Does anybody else get the ick if you start talking to a guy and you like go to like stalk all their social media and you find out that they take selfies? I'm like, no, you're the boy. You're the boy. You're not supposed to know how to take a mirror pic. You're like not even supposed to know how to do that. What are you doing?
Like, God forbid a brother looks good on the gram. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. You know what I mean? Someone called the authorities. A man took a photo of themselves. What are you talking about, lady? Like, y'all are just coming up with reasons at this point to just hate on men. It doesn't even make any sense. It's an ick when a guy takes a selfie. How else is he supposed to take a picture alone? What are you talking? We don't all have photographers on deck ready to go. Like, what are you saying? Most of the pictures most people take in their lives are selfies. A selfie literally just means taking a picture of oneself. You mean to tell me men can't do that? Man, get out of here, man.
It's actually super telling how gross men are, because the second women found out that Robert Irwin was 21 years old after his Bonds ad, they immediately got the ick or felt bad that they were thirsting over a 21-year-old. But when men find like a 20-year-old, even, dare I say, 18, 19-year-old, they get googly eyes. Now that's something for them to win over. Moral of the story, men are gross.
Moral of the story. Okay, moral of the story. Back your ass up from the. Listen, if I gotta tell one more girl to back the ass up from the camera, I'm just gonna start roasting. All right, I'm just gonna start roasting. It's starting to get out of hand. Okay, and you gotta love the double standard, around the whole age debate versus men and women. Right? It's so strange. Men get chastised and, ridiculed for dating younger. And women don't seem to get that same sort of treatment, right? A lot of times their friends are cheering them on, or it's looked at as almost like a victory, like they've succeeded in some kind of way. Whereas if a man were to do it, it's looked down upon because somehow the girl is vulnerable. When I've seen online in many occasions, women openly admitting to dating older men because of their resources, because, they want a sugar daddy, all this other stuff. They brag about the number of sugar daddies and, elderly men they've been able to convince to buy things for them. I mean, it's a skewed debate. It's a skewed discussion. It's absolutely ridiculous that this keeps, like, we're talking about two consenting adults. If you women can motivate and encourage other women to go and open OnlyFans account, to be as promiscuous as they want to be, and this is irrespective of the age, as long as they're legal. So what are we really talking about here? If these legal consenting adults want to have some type of relation with one another, it's up to them to decide, regardless of how you feel about it. If a girl can be a porn star by the time she's 18, I think she's also able to decide who she wants to sleep with. The ramifications of those decisions are for her to endure, no one else.
How can you be balding and still ghost me? How can you be balding and still...
Okay, well, I try to play nice. You know what I mean? Y'all heard what I said last time. Another close-up angle, and I'm roasting. So here we are. But before we get to that, though, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment down below if you agree, if you disagree. Listen, I'd love to get some kind of conversation going. Let's get some movement. Let's get some traction on the channel. So, yeah, do all that stuff. And if you don't, well, listen, it was nice knowing you. Thanks for stopping by. All right, now with that aside, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. And I mean that literally, because the young lady in front of me here, listen, I'm an expert with this stuff. I can see it, I can sniff it out. And I can just tell from the shape of her voluptuous cheeks, and I'm not talking the ones on the backside, my friends, I'm talking about the ones on her face. I can tell this girl is a little bit on the fluffier side, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to put two and two together and assume that the balding gentleman that you referenced simply, it wasn't what, you were advertising, what he saw in person. And he probably decided after the first encounter, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and have to pass on this one, but thanks for the outing. And he went about his way. I'm sure he probably did it respectfully. And we're not even really having a discussion about how he went about doing it. She's complaining because a balding man rejected her. Lady, I think you need to understand exactly how things work. You don't get to decide these types of things, okay? You just fall where you fall. And I think you seem to be under the impression that you sit a lot higher on the proverbial dating totem pole. And I'm here to tell you, sweetheart, you're not as high as you think. And that man was likely on your level or seemingly a little bit higher. Him balding is irrelevant because you still agreed to the date and you still went out with him. And seemingly you had a good time, and now you're crying online because he broke things off. So if you really didn't care, right? If it was really no big deal, then why would you be online posted up crying about a balding man? You see what I'm saying? Listen, this is how it is now. Women now get to a point where they start dating someone in their ballpark, in their range of attractiveness, and they break them off, and then they go online and cry about how trash and ugly this person was, and how someone who looks this way couldn't possibly refuse someone like me, when in reality it's like, lady, you went on the date, so clearly you were desperate enough. So what are you talking about? Okay.
I think I'm finally ready to go out and meet new people, I said with immaculate confidence. I was then hit by a plane and pulverized instantaneously.
Imagine opening a Hinge account, right, as an average human being, and then receiving average matches, akin to what you are, because most of these dating apps require you to swipe and the other person to also swipe, and for the swipe to be congruent with the other person in order for you guys to match. So you knew exactly what your matches would look like. That's why you guys matched. And now you're complaining about your matches. How does that work? That makes no sense whatsoever. The problem is a lot of these young ladies are shooting for the Chads, the Tyrones, the highest of the highs, and that's all they have their eyes set on. And then they completely disregard the men that are actually on their level, and they do stuff like this, or they believe that they're entitled to better men and thus are upset because of the fact that they match with average men. It's ridiculous because they're average women. So it's a real epidemic, and I hope one day, we figure this shit out.
Men will deny this, but they're lying when they say they want peace. They love selfish, independent, unbothered women that are difficult and stress them out. Women that are too nice and predictable don't give them enough to worry about.
Okay, I think that's a pretty good place to end the video, because what the hell is this shorty talking about? What are you saying? That men want headaches, men want difficult women who aren't agreeable, who want things their way, who never compromise? Like, that's the kind of women that men want? This girl is actively sabotaging other women. Like, this has to be a tactic. She has to be trying to thin out the competition pool, because what the hell, who would take this advice seriously? Men aren't just trying to pick up burdens along the way and responsibility and headaches and pains from the women that they are with. Like, they're hoping that these women come in their lives and actually, take away some of that pressure and pain and nurture them and kind of, heal them from some of that trauma. And you believe that it's the opposite, that men actually want to be traumatized and put through shit. Like, you know what? There's nothing, I don't got to say nothing. Y'all already see it. Y'all understand? You know what I'm saying? And this is what we're dealing with. Anyways, with that being said, thank you so much for watching and for sitting down and going through this painful watch with me. But I really appreciate you. And if you like this type of content, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment down below, whether you like it, whether you disliked it. I don't mind. Let's get a conversation going. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. I'm out.